Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there as in Dolphins land, OTAs roll on. Liam Eichenberg, your guy's favorite. True. Got the orange jersey today at Dolphins OTAs. So, you know, I hope his playlist was great for Liam Eichenberg. Getting the orange jersey. Shout out. And hopefully this is, look, for the best of it, you hope for the team that Liam Eichenberg does work out. I don't know if I have the most faith that it is going to work out. But, yeah, look, I would love it if he would, just like it was with, like, Noah Monogamy, you would love to prove that he could shut up the fat doubters like me, the loudmouths like me, and kick ass and have a position, and you could forget that you even lost Rob Hunt, and that would be fantastic. Or, if he has to step in there at center, that his snaps are crisp and all that type of stuff. But hey, little victories, all right? We'll take an orange jersey day for old Liam Eichenberg. In the meanwhile, as this all unfolds, I did find it interesting that you had Cam Smith, Dolphins, another second-round pick that everybody's trying to figure out, hey, what the hell happened last year with the whole scenario about you and your seemingly tumultuous relationship with Vic Fangio? Is it going to be in a good place? And he told reporters that he's physically in a better place, which is great, but this is hopefully going to be a clean slate for him with Anthony Weaver here. He said to reporters yesterday, he said, didn't have the season that I wanted. I didn't really get any of the opportunities that I wanted. In the end, ain't nothing given to you in this league. So stuff happens. I'm here, and so I feel like I'm free. Which I think everybody is hopeful that this works out. If you have questions about this team, although, the Dolphins had Fuller this year, the secondary, and I don't think they're going to be scrounging as much. It's still a high draft pick. You want a high draft pick like Cam Smith to work out, and it's always worrisome, though it's okay for players to have time to develop and maybe not grasp it or maybe not have any, the impact you think it would. It also leaves you in a little bit of limbo because then all of a sudden, you're Channing Tindall who, you're holding on to OTA victories, And with Channing, look, you're always hoping that those rounds 3 and up, you're going to give them more chances because the front office believes in the talent. Everybody is looking at it and being like, come on, something here has to click, has to work out. So for the Eichenbergs of the world, the Cam Smith, who, I think everybody's given a clean slate to Channing Tindall, you're hopeful that this OTAs is a start of something. I tell you one rookie that we have no questions about, though, and that everybody's got to be fired up about is Devon Achane. Because Devon Achane coming back in, we all saw the hulked up pictures on Instagram when he arrived for the first team activities, and you're just like, damn, Achane looks a little beefier. Looks like he's put on a little bit of muscle because, durability is really the only question with this dude. It's hard to be on a team and think that anybody can be as explosive, as exciting as the Cheetah. This guy might be that. And if you really think about it, with this wide receiver core, more star-studded, of course, with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, now adding Odell Beckham, who may be, more fame than fame and name than he is talent, but still, you're hopeful that crew is set. Maybe one of these, the Washington duo who they drafted late, maybe one of them flourishes as well. And of course, Berrios is trusted. Azukama's coming back from the neck injury. But I do feel like maybe Jalen Waddle has another level still to get to. I think everybody would be hopeful of that, especially with, contract talks looming and maybe some of his durability things as well. So, yeah, there's probably still another level that Waddle can get to, but I do think as a duo and as a core, that wide receiver room is been about as good as it could get. The running back room is still one of these ones where I'm like, man, I feel like what the hell is the limit on this? Because I think there's been plenty of games Dolphin fans, pundits, media, whatever, have been watching. Just like, man, we should have ridden the run game a little bit more. Mike McDaniel got too cute. And that's another one that the weapons continue to get added to. Obviously, Raheem Mostert still back here, and Achane being stronger going into that sophomore year, knowing the offense, having the role that he did. Do they even open up the repertoire a little bit more for Achane this year? Who knows? But then on top of it, you have Jalen Wright, who you're bringing to the table, who everybody's just like, I don't even, you know, what else does Mike McDaniel have up his sleeve for this squad and for this crew? But there was, speaking of running backs, an interesting comment, I thought, from Raheem Mostert. And he was talking to Adam Beasley, I guess when he was going to the Panthers game, which shout out to the Cats. He said, quote, I just feel like this is one of those make or break years. He said, he said this after practice on Tuesday. He says, I feel like this is just one of those make or break years. Mostert said after Tuesday's Dolphins OTA practice. He said, quote, you know me personally, I feel like I want to win a championship. I want to go after one. I want to get past the first round because these last 2 years have been BS in my own view. But it's about breaking that cycle, going deep into the playoffs, and entering the championship round, and then on to the big dance. I do get into arguments with this about Leroy a lot, about the burden that this team does carry of that 24-year run. Now that, you know, the Lions have done what they've done, it does hang. It does loom over the Dolphins like an anvil, that this shameful thing of you've gone that many years without a playoff victory. And I remember saying this going into the season last year. Like, I didn't even feel like that, with where the Dolphins were all in, was a good enough bar even for the talent that was on that squad. And I still feel that way with this team. It's just, you know, I suppose just at this point, you gotta shoot for that before you can even seem to think about anything else, because, you know, aiming for anything like the AFC Championship at this point seems silly, because they're gonna face a lot of the same obstacles this year outside of as catastrophic with the injuries and how they've gotten. But if we all looked at the schedule and have done the whole lineup thing of what, and you look how there will be those challenging road games, one would think on paper, to end the season. And they have, you know, a lot of their early part of the year, is in the Dolphins, favor. So if you're going to set yourself up for a good record, and there's not going to be a lot of people who I think will wrap their arms around the Dolphins nationally and truly believe in them until they can go out there and, in the words of Mike McDaniel, change the narrative. You know, if you want the narrative to change, you have to go out there and change the narrative and put that in there. And of course, you have a running back in Raheem Mostert, who I think echoes a lot of what his coach said and what his coach believes. We know that they're very tight. And I think with this Dolphins team, look, last year wasn't BS. There were valid reasons why they ended the way that they did, but I do think that there was a certain joy a lot of people took in the flashy, fast team falling flat on its face and being shown, yeah, you guys can't football. You can't football like the rest of us football. You stupid track team. We're sick of seeing your GPS times. He was asked by Bees if the Dolphins have changed their routine or if McDaniel has changed his routine. He says he's brought it up. It sucks because we were unstoppable these past couple of years and beating good teams. Then unfortunate things happen where you lose guys and ultimately it can alter the season. So his whole thing has been, we still haven't won a playoff game. We need to get to that point. And we need, no matter who's up, it really doesn't matter if you're a starter or second guy. It's those back end guys who can contribute and you can't skip a beat. That's what winning. That's what the winning teams, they're able to do, and they're able to accomplish those things. So yeah, I do think all of it right now is put in the scope of, hey, get to that point. Even if it is just starting with winning the division or handling, maybe a down Bills team this year, or making your mark against a Jets team that's fired up to get Aaron Rodgers back, and, continuing your recent dominance of the New England Patriots. I think it starts with those two things of show you're the bully of the division for once and get that playoff win. There's nothing wrong with setting yourself up for a good playoff year and having it be the easier track than going to -30 Arrowhead Stadium after you completely had the bottom fall out of this year. Because I think it was even Jalen Waddle who had said on Udonis Haslam's podcast, the OGs, and he had said that he thought that they were a great team, that they just peaked at the wrong time. That they were a great team, that they peaked at the wrong time, and that injuries ended up catching up to them at the most inopportune time. And I don't think anyone's going to consider them a great team until they go out there and they end something that has been looming over this team now for nearly a quarter of a century. But, I do still feel like the pieces are here. I do. Even with the changes that are coming to the defense, and we'll ultimately see what that looks like. And hopefully Anthony Weaver doesn't suck at his job. But, I mean, the offense, the tools that they have, that should still bear a lot of fruit for this team. It's just a matter of, once again, if they get out to the guns blazing and people kind of figure them out, will they have a counter move? Will Mike McDaniel grow in his play calling to have those counter moves and stop the BS, as Raheem Mostert says?